Have you ever been in a situation where you need to speak English and your mind just goes completely blank? You know the words, you've studied the grammar, but in that moment, it's like a wall slams down between your thoughts and your voice. I've been there. Staring at a colleague during a video call, my heart pounding as I fumbled for a simple phrase. I felt stuck, frustrated, and I promised myself that would be the last time. If you've ever felt that way, I want you to know something important: you are not alone, and it is not your fault. The traditional way of learning English is broken. We spend years memorizing vocabulary lists and grammar rules, but we never learn to actually speak. But what if I told you that in the next 30 days, you can break through that wall? That you can start speaking English not with perfect, textbook accuracy, but with real, genuine fluency? The kind of fluency that lets you think in English, joke in English, and express your amazing ideas without that constant, exhausting translation in your head. This isn't a magic pill. It's a proven system based on how our brains actually acquire language. It's about ditching the old study habits and embracing a new way of practicing every single day. This is your journey to finding your voice in English. Forget everything you think you know about becoming fluent. Fluency isn't about knowing the most words, it's about being able to use the words you already know with speed and confidence. Think about a toddler learning to speak. They don't study grammar, they listen, they mimic, and they aren't afraid of making mistakes. Our first crucial step is to reclaim that mindset. We are going to focus on two powerful pillars: deep listening and fearless speaking. And we start today, right now, with our first piece of actionable advice. I want you to change your goal from "I need to speak perfect English" to "I will communicate my idea effectively." This single shift in perspective is liberating. It takes the pressure off. Perfection is the enemy of progress. From this moment on, we celebrate every attempt, every mistake, every little victory. Your mission for today is simple but profound. I want you to find just 5 minutes of English audio. It could be a podcast, a short news clip, or even a cartoon. And I want you to listen to it not as a student, but as a detective. Don't try to understand every word. Just listen for the music of the language, the rhythm, the intonation, the way sentences rise and fall. This is the foundation we will build upon, one day at a time. The truth is, most everyday conversations use a surprisingly small set of words. Think about it. How many words do you use in your native language during a casual chat with a friend? Probably not thousands. Research suggests that knowing just the most common 1,000 words in English can help you understand about 80% of everyday speech. Let that sink in. 80%! You likely already know many of these words. The problem isn't a lack of vocabulary, it's the inability to access and use it quickly under pressure. Our goal for this first week is to make those core words your best friends, so they come to you instantly when you need them. So, how do we do that? We move from passive listening to active imitation. This is where the magic happens. Starting today, I want you to add a powerful 5-minute speaking drill to your routine. After your listening practice, I want you to shadow the speaker. Shadowing is simply repeating what you hear, almost simultaneously, like an echo. You don't need to understand every word. You are focusing on copying the sounds, the rhythm, and the melody. It might feel strange at first, but this is how you train your mouth muscles to form English sounds naturally and build the muscle memory for fluency. Find a short audio clip where the speaker talks clearly and at a moderate pace. It could be the same one you listen to. Play one sentence, pause, and try to repeat it exactly as you heard it. Pay attention to the way they link words together, where they pause, and how their voice goes up and down. This isn't about perfection, it's about practice. Your voice might not sound like a native speaker's, and that's perfectly okay. The act of doing it consistently is what builds neural pathways. Imagine you're learning a dance, you mimic the steps before you can freestyle. This is the same principle. By the end of this week, just 7 days of this combined listening and shadowing practice, you will notice a difference in how comfortable you feel forming English sentences. Your mouth will feel more agile, and your ear will become more tuned. Remember, fluency is a physical skill as much as a mental one. Now, let's address the silent enemy of fluency, the inner critic. That voice in your head that tells you to wait until you're perfect, that screams when you make a mistake, that paralyzes your tongue. For the next 30 days, we are evicting that critic. Your number one goal is not grammatical perfection, it is communication. Every time you speak and are understood, you have succeeded. Every mistake is simply data, feedback that your brain uses to adjust and improve. It is not a failure. This brings us to a fundamental principle: comprehensible input. This is the scientific term for listening to English that you can mostly understand. It shouldn't be so easy that you're bored, nor so difficult that you're lost. It should be just slightly above your current level. This is how you acquire language naturally, without memorization. Your brain subconsciously picks up the patterns, the grammar, and the vocabulary. This is why watching children's shows or simple storytelling podcasts can be more effective for your speaking than trying to decipher a complex university lecture. You need to understand the message first. So, your task for today is to find your comprehensible input. Choose one short, engaging video or audio story. It could be an animated short film, a vlog about a hobby you enjoy, or a podcast for English learners. Watch or listen to it once just for the gist. Then, watch it a second time, but this time, I want you to shadow the speaker again. Try to catch the phrases and feel the emotion in their voice. The combination of understanding the context and then physically producing the sounds is incredibly powerful. It connects meaning to sound to muscle movement. This process of listening and shadowing with material you comprehend is the engine of your fluency journey. It's not flashy, but it is profoundly effective. You are feeding your brain with real, usable language and training your speech organs to produce it. You are building a library of phrases and sentences that you own, not just words you vaguely remember. Remember, we are not studying English, we are acquiring it. We are moving it from a subject in your mind to a tool on your tongue. This is the shift that changes everything. But knowing words and phrases is only half the battle. The other half is confidence. And confidence comes from successfully using the language in a real, or simulated, situation. This is where we move from shadowing to creating. It's time to start building your own sentences, but with a safety net. We are going to use the technique of self-talk. Self-talk is exactly what it sounds like. You describe your actions, your thoughts, and your surroundings in English, inside your own head or out loud. The goal is to form simple, complete thoughts without the pressure of another person listening. For example, while making coffee, you might think, I am pouring hot water into the cup. The smell is very good. I need to be careful because it is hot. This forces you to use the grammatical structures you've been hearing and shadowing. You are practicing assembling language on the fly. Combine this with the chunking method. Instead of thinking, I need to go to the supermarket later, you use the chunk I need to and then add different endings. I need to finish this report. I need to call my friend. I need to buy some bread. You are practicing with a whole phrase, a building block of speech. This is how native speakers talk. We don't construct sentences word by word, we use prefabricated chunks. Your listening practice now has a dual purpose. You are not just shadowing for pronunciation, you are actively collecting these useful chunks of language to use in your self-talk. Your assignment for the next few days is to dedicate 10 minutes a day to this combined practice. 5 minutes of focused shadowing with your comprehensible input, and 5 minutes of conscious self-talk in English. It doesn't matter how simple it is. The act of connecting your immediate reality to the English language is a powerful cognitive exercise. You are building a direct pathway between your experiences and your English expression, bypassing the translation step. This is the beginning of thinking in English. We are now moving into week 2. The foundation of listening and the beginnings of speech are laid. Now, we intensify. The goal this week is to move from conscious effort to more automatic responses. We are going to build speed and reduce your mental translation time. The key to this is what I call the loop method. You will take a very short piece of audio, maybe just 20 to 30 seconds long, and you will work with it in a continuous loop. Here is how the loop method works. First, you listen to the clip once or twice to fully understand the meaning. Use a transcript if you need to. Once the meaning is clear, your work begins. You will listen to the same short clip over and over again, perhaps 10 or 15 times. But you are not just listening passively. On the third or fourth listen, you start shadowing, trying to speak along with the speaker. By the 10th listen, the phrases should be starting to feel familiar, almost automatic. You are burning the rhythm and the common grammatical structures of that clip into your brain. This method is so powerful because it moves language from your short-term memory to your long-term memory and into your muscle memory. You are creating a familiar, comfortable loop of correct English. This is the opposite of trying to learn from a textbook. This is immersive, repetitive, and deeply effective. You will find that phrases from your loop start to pop into your head during your self-talk sessions. This is a sign that it's working. Your brain is starting to use these pre-built blocks of language for its own purposes. Your task for the next few days is to select one powerful loop. Choose a clip from a movie, a podcast, or a speech that you find engaging and that contains useful, everyday language. It must be comprehensible to you. Spend at least 15 minutes a day just with this one loop. Listen, shadow, and repeat until you feel the language becoming part of you. Do not worry about getting bored. The depth of learning you achieve in this focused practice is worth more than hours of unfocused listening. This is how you build the core sentences that will become the backbone of your fluent speech. Now, let's talk about vocabulary in a way that actually works. The old method of writing down a word and its translation 100 times is inefficient and frankly, boring. It creates a weak link in your memory. We are going to build a strong, robust vocabulary network using the listening practice you are already doing. Your ears are your best vocabulary teachers. When you are engaged in your deep listening or loop practice, and you hear a new word, do not immediately reach for the dictionary. Your first task is to try to guess its meaning from the context. What is the situation? What other words do you understand in the sentence? This guessing skill is critical for fluency because it mimics what you do in your native language. You won't always have a dictionary in a real conversation. After you've made a guess, then you can confirm it by looking it up or checking a transcript. But here is the crucial step that most people miss. Do not just learn the word. Learn the music of the word and its most common phrase. Listen to the audio clip again, focusing specifically on how that new word is pronounced. How does the speaker's voice move? Then, find the whole phrase it lives in. Instead of just learning the word commitment, learn the phrase "I have a prior commitment." This way, you are not storing a single word, you are storing a ready-to-use unit of language. Your vocabulary practice for this phase is integrated. It happens naturally during your listening sessions. Keep a small notebook, not for isolated words, but for these powerful phrases. Write down the phrase and a brief note about the context you heard it in. Then, in your self-talk sessions, make a point to use that new phrase. Even if it feels forced, you are creating a new neural pathway and moving that phrase from your passive memory to your active vocabulary. This is how you truly own a word. You have heard it, understood it in context, deconstructed its pronunciation, and used it in a sentence of your own. This multi-sensory approach makes the word unforgettable. We have arrived at a critical juncture. Week 3. This is where we shift the balance of power. Up until now, your speaking has been primarily a solo practice, shadowing and self-talk. This has been your safe training ground. But now, we must step into the arena. The goal for this week is to activate your speech in a low-pressure, interactive environment. The fear of making mistakes in front of others is the final barrier, and we will dismantle it with a simple, powerful strategy. I want you to find a speaking partner. This does not need to be a native speaker. In fact, it is often better if they are another learner on a similar journey. The pressure is immediately lower. You can find partners through online language exchange apps or communities. The purpose is not to receive expert correction, but to practice the act of spontaneous communication. You are practicing building the bridge between minds, even if a few planks are missing. The focus is on flow, not flawlessness. Your first conversation should be structured. Do not just jump into a random video call and hope for the best. That is a recipe for anxiety. Instead, agree on a very simple topic beforehand. For example, describe your morning routine or talk about your favorite holiday. Set a timer for just 5 minutes. The short duration makes it manageable. Your only job in this conversation is to keep the exchange going. Use filler words like "well, let me see," or "that's an interesting question." If you don't know a word, describe it. This is how you develop strategic competence, the ability to get your point across even with limited vocabulary. After the conversation, do not focus on what you did wrong. Instead, celebrate what you did right. You showed up. You spoke. You communicated. Maybe you successfully used a phrase from your loop practice. That is a huge victory. This positive reinforcement is the fuel that will keep you going. The grammatical accuracy will improve naturally as you get more listening input and practice. Right now, your mission is to build your speaking courage muscle. This week, have 3 of these short, structured practice conversations. You will be amazed at how much more comfortable you feel from the first to the third. Now, let's refine your listening to a professional level. You can understand the general idea of what someone is saying, but sometimes rapid, native speech still feels like a blur, a stream of sound where words seem to meld together. This is because we are focusing on the wrong thing. We try to hear every word distinctly, but native speakers don't speak in distinct words. They speak in a connected stream of sound using techniques like linking, reduction, and contractions. To understand them, you must learn to stop listening for individual words and start listening for the overall message and the prominent, stressed words. This week, we are going to train your ear to hear the music of the sentence, not just the notes. In every sentence in English, content words are stressed. These are the nouns, main verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. They carry the meaning. Function words, like articles, prepositions, and conjunctions, are often reduced and spoken quickly. They are the glue, but they are not the main event. For example, in the sentence I am going to the store, a native speaker will say I'm gonna go to the store. The stressed words are go and store. The rest is almost mumbled. This is the rhythm of English. Your practice now evolves. Go back to your loop method clip. But this time, listen with a transcript. As you listen, mark the stressed words you hear. Notice how the speaker links words together. Where does what did you become wadaya? This is not slang, this is standard spoken English. Your goal is not necessarily to speak this way yourself immediately, but to become so familiar with this pattern that you can decipher it effortlessly. This single skill will do more for your listening comprehension than learning 1,000 new vocabulary words. When you can filter the stream of sound and pluck out the key meaning-carrying words, you unlock the ability to understand anyone, no matter how fast they talk. This is the magic key. This understanding relieves so much anxiety. You no longer need to panic when you miss a to or an and. You now know that those words are often barely audible even to native ears. We are training your brain to prioritize the important information. This week, spend your listening time as a rhythm detective. Find the beat of the sentence. Identify the strong and weak parts. This intellectual understanding, combined with the physical practice of shadowing, will dramatically accelerate your journey to fluent comprehension. The final barrier to fluency is not in your knowledge, but in your mindset. It is the fear of sounding silly, of making a mistake, of not being perfect. This week, we are going to destroy that fear by inviting it in. We are going to make friends with imperfection. I want you to deliberately make mistakes. This sounds counterintuitive, but it is a psychological masterstroke. When you give yourself permission to be imperfect, you remove the power that the fear of failure holds over you. Your mission is to incorporate humor and filler phrases into your speaking practice. When you have a structured conversation with your partner, I want you to try to tell a simple, pre-prepared joke. It can be a pun, a silly observation, anything. The goal is not to be a comedian, the goal is to practice the rhythm and timing of English humor and to experience the joy of making someone laugh in English. This builds a positive emotional connection to the language. Furthermore, practice using filler phrases naturally. Instead of panicking during a pause, use phrases like "let me gather my thoughts" or "how can I put this?" These are the lubricants of natural conversation. This practice does something profound. It shifts your identity from being a student of English to being a user of English. A student is judged on accuracy. A user is judged on whether they successfully communicated an idea, a feeling, or a joke. This is a monumental shift. You are no longer just trying to be correct, you are trying to be human, to connect. And connection is the ultimate goal of any language. So, in your conversations this week, your success metrics have changed. Do not count your grammatical errors. Count the number of times you successfully used a filler to buy time. Count the number of times you made your partner laugh. Count the number of times you successfully described a word you couldn't remember. This is real-world fluency. It is messy, it is imperfect, and it is incredibly empowering. You are building resilience and resourcefulness, the two most important tools of any fluent speaker. You are learning to thrive, not just survive, in an English conversation. This is the final stretch. Week 4. The Homecoming. This is where we bring everything together. All the deep listening, the shadowing, the self-talk, the looping, the conversational practice, it all converges now. Our goal for this week is simple yet profound, to make thinking in English your default setting. You have been building the pathways, now we need to make them the most well-traveled roads in your mind. The bridge between fluent practice and fluent speech is thought. If you are still thinking in your native language and translating, there will always be a delay, a lag. Our mission is to eliminate that lag. From the moment you wake up until you end your day, I want you to consciously attempt to form your inner monologue in English. When you look at the sky and think it's cloudy, think it in English. When you are deciding what to eat for lunch, debate the options in English inside your head. This constant, internal narration is the ultimate practice. It costs nothing, requires no partner, and can be done anywhere. To solidify this, we are introducing the 60-second challenge. Every day, take a topic, any topic, like my favorite childhood memory or the best book I ever read, and speak about it for 60 seconds without stopping. No pausing, no going back to correct mistakes. The only rule is that the words must keep flowing. Record yourself on your phone. The first few times, it will be messy. You might use simple words, you might repeat yourself. But by the end of the week, you will notice a dramatic increase in your fluency and speed. You are training your brain to access English under pressure, which is exactly what happens in a real conversation. This final week is not about learning new things, it is about integration and automation. It is about trusting the process and the work you have put in. Your listening practice should now consist of content you enjoy, movies, documentaries, complex podcasts. You are no longer just a learner, you are a user. You are engaging with the language for its content, and your fluency is a byproduct of that engagement. You have moved from studying the map to exploring the territory. The 30 days are an intense launch sequence. What follows is a lifetime of confident exploration. You are not just finishing a program, you are unlocking a new part of yourself. The 30 days are over, but this is not the end. This is where your true journey begins. The past month was a boot camp, an intensive training designed to rewire your habits and break down your fears. Now, we transition from the intense focus of a program to the sustainable integration of English into your daily life. Fluency is not a final destination you arrive at, it is a state of continuous growth and use. The goal now is to make English a natural, effortless part of your world, so you never lose the progress you've made. The most important tool for maintaining and advancing your fluency is what I call the feedback loop. This is a conscious cycle of input, practice, and feedback. Your input will now come from the media you consume for pleasure. Switch the language settings on your devices to English. Follow English-speaking content creators on topics you are passionate about. Watch movies and series without subtitles, or with English subtitles only. This keeps your ear tuned and your vocabulary expanding naturally, without it feeling like study. Your practice now becomes more social and more integrated. The structured conversations with a partner should continue, but you can also start engaging with English content online. Leave a comment on a YouTube video you enjoyed. Join an online forum or a social media group about your hobby where the primary language is English. This is low-pressure, asynchronous communication that still counts as real-world practice. You are writing, which reinforces grammar and vocabulary, and you are reading the responses of others, which is more input. Finally, hold yourself accountable by setting new, fun micro-goals. Perhaps you want to watch an entire series in English without subtitles. Maybe you want to give a presentation in English at work, or present an idea to your language partner. The key is to always have a small, exciting challenge on the horizon. This gives your practice purpose and direction. Remember the identity shift we talked about. You are no longer a student. You are a global citizen who uses English to connect, to learn, and to share your own unique perspective with the world. You have done the hard work. Now, go and enjoy the rewards. Your voice is ready. Use it. And so, we stand here, at the conclusion of our 30-day journey, but more importantly, at the beginning of your lifelong adventure with English. Look back at the person you were 30 days ago, hesitant and translating in your head. Now, look at yourself today. You have the tools, the methods, and most importantly, the proven experience that you can do this. You have listened deeply, you have spoken fearlessly, and you have rewired your own brain. That inner critic has been quieted, replaced by the confident voice of a communicator. Remember, fluency is a path, not a point on a map. There will be days when the words flow effortlessly and days where you might feel a little stuck. This is completely normal. It is part of the process. The difference now is that you know how to navigate those days. You know to return to your loop method, to engage in some purposeful self-talk, to have a short, encouraging conversation with your partner. You are no longer lost, you have a compass. Let this be your new daily rhythm, a few minutes of listening to something you love, a few minutes of speaking your thoughts into the air, and a constant, curious engagement with the English-speaking world around you. Let this be as natural as brushing your teeth. This consistency is the secret that will carry you from fluency to eloquence. You have built the foundation brick by brick over these 30 days. Now, you get to live in the house. You have done something incredible. You have taken control of your learning and your confidence. You have shown up for yourself every single day. I am immensely proud of you. Now, go out into the world and use your voice. Share your stories, your ideas, and your unique perspective. Connect with people you couldn't have connected with before. The world is waiting to hear what you have to say. You are now a fluent English speaker. Believe it. Speak it. Live it. The Fluency Blueprint, your 30-day activation sequence. Welcome. This is not another English lesson. This is an operating system for fluency. For the next 30 days, you will not just learn English, you will activate it. This blueprint is your daily guide. Follow it precisely, and you will reprogram your mind and mouth for confident, spontaneous speech. This is your commitment. This is your transformation. Week 1, the foundation: rewiring your ears and mouth. Day 1, the diagnostic: silence. Today, you will not speak. Your only task is to consume 15 minutes of pure, comprehensible English audio. Listen to a children's story, a slow news report, or a simple narrative podcast. Do not translate. Simply absorb the sounds, the rhythm, the music. Your brain is calibrating. Take notes on the sounds you hear, not the words you see. This is the reset. Day 2, the shadow's first steps: return to yesterday's audio. Now, you will shadow. Play one sentence. Pause. Repeat it aloud, mimicking the speaker's melody and rhythm exactly. Your goal is not meaning, but mimicry. You are a parrot. You are an actor. Do this for just 5 minutes. Feel the strange shapes the English sounds make in your mouth. This is muscle memory. Day 3, introducing the loop: select a new, 20-second audio clip. This is your first loop. Listen to it 3 times for meaning. Then, listen and shadow it 5 times. Feel the phrases becoming familiar. You are no longer repeating random sounds, you are etching a predictable pattern into your neural pathways. This is the beginning of automation. Day 4, the birth of self-talk. Continue your 5-minute loop practice. Then, for another 5 minutes, you will engage in self-talk. Describe your immediate environment in simple English. I am sitting at a desk. The computer screen is bright. I can hear a bird outside. Do not judge the simplicity. You are building a direct bridge from perception to expression. Day 5, chunking the language. During your loop practice today, listen for chunks. Identify one common phrase, like "it looks like," or "I'm trying to." Write it down. Now, use this chunk in your self-talk. Create 3 new sentences with it. You are not building with bricks, but with prefabricated walls. This is efficiency. Day 6, the first conversation with yourself. Record yourself speaking for 1 minute on a simple topic: my favorite meal. Do not write a script. Just speak. Listen back. Do not critique your grammar. Instead, note one thing you did well. Did you keep going? Did you use a chunk? Celebrate that. This is building confidence. Day 7, review and consolidation. Revisit all your loops from the week. Shadow them 1 more time. Feel how much easier it is. Reflect on your self-talk. Has it become slightly more fluid? This is progress. Trust the process. Week 2, activation: building speed and connection. Day 8, the demanding loop. Your loop practice intensifies. Find a 30-second clip with more natural speed. Use the transcript. Listen and shadow until you can almost speak along with the speaker without pausing. Your focus today is on the weak sounds, the prepositions, the articles, the reduced forms like gonna and wanna. You are not just hearing the highlights, you are decoding the full texture of natural speech. Day 9, question and answer self-talk. Move your self-talk to a new level. Do not just describe. Ask yourself questions and answer them. What is my plan for today? first, I will finish my report. Then, I will call my mother. Why is this important? Because I promised her. This practices the interrogative form, which is crucial for conversation and builds cognitive flexibility in your English thinking. Day 10. Secure your first partner today. You take a brave step. Use a language app or community to find one speaking partner. Schedule a first conversation for later this week. The mere act of committing to this is a victory. Your mission is not to be perfect, but to be present. The goal is human connection, not grammatical perfection. Day 11. The prepared conversation. Prepare for your first conversation. With your partner, agree on a simple topic, our hometowns. Write down 5 questions and 5 potential answers you might use. Practice them aloud alone. This is not cheating, this is strategic preparation. You are building a safety net of familiar language to reduce initial anxiety. Day 12. The first real connection. Have your 5-minute conversation. Follow your prepared questions, but be ready to listen and react. If you get stuck, use your filler phrases, "That's interesting," or "Let me think." After it's over, write down one successful moment. Did you understand a question? Did you answer without translating? That is your victory. Analyze the mistakes later, but first, celebrate the courage. Day 13. The fluency drill. Return to your recording from day 6. Record yourself again on the same topic, my favorite meal. Do not listen to the old one first. Speak for 1 minute. Now, listen to both recordings. Hear the difference in your flow, your confidence, the reduction of pauses. This tangible proof of progress is your most powerful motivator. Day 14. Expanding the input. Change your listening diet. Move from learner content to authentic, slightly faster content. Find a vlogger you enjoy or a TV show genre you love. Watch for 10 minutes, not as study, but for enjoyment. Your brain, now trained, will automatically be absorbing the language. You are moving from practice to immersion. Day 15. Embracing the imperfect. This week's theme is mindset. Your first task is to write down your biggest fear about speaking English. Now, read it aloud and say, "This fear is normal, but it will not control me." In your self-talk today, deliberately make 3 small, silly mistakes and laugh about them. You are teaching your brain that mistakes are not catastrophes. They are data points, and they are harmless. Day 16. The unprepared conversation. Have your second conversation with your partner. This time, do not prepare specific questions. Agree on a broader topic like a recent movie or a personal goal. Your only preparation is to review your filler phrases. Your goal is to survive and navigate the uncertainty. This is where you build true spontaneous speech. Embrace the pauses. They are a sign of thought, not failure. Day 17. Functional chunk collection. During your listening practice today, act as a collector. Your goal is to find 3 functional chunks for social interaction. For example, a chunk for agreeing, "I totally see your point," for disagreeing politely, "That's a fair point, but I see it differently," or for showing surprise, "You're kidding." Integrate these specific chunks into your self-talk immediately. You are building a toolkit for real interaction. Day 18. The stress syllable hunt. Go back to your loop practice. This time, your sole focus is on the rhythm. Listen to a 20-second clip and tap your hand on the desk for every stressed syllable you hear. Ignore the weak sounds completely. You are training your ear to follow the beat of English, which is the key to both understanding rapid speech and making your own speech more natural and comprehensible. Day 19. The native speaker loop. This is a crucial step. Find a short, clear clip of a native speaker in a casual, unscripted setting, like a talk show interview or a product review. The language will be less formal, with more fillers and informal contractions. Loop this for 5 minutes. Do not worry about understanding every word. You are acclimating to the authentic, messy, and beautiful reality of everyday English. Day 20. Active vocabulary recall. Take your notebook of phrases. Close it. Set a timer for 2 minutes and speak on any topic, but force yourself to use at least 2 of the phrases you've recorded this week. This is active recall under pressure. You are moving vocabulary from the page, through your mind, and out of your mouth. This is the final step in owning a word. Day 21. The midpoint review. Record another 1-minute monologue, but on a new topic, a challenge I overcame. Listen to your recording from day 13 and then this new one. The improvement will be undeniable. You are faster, more fluid, and more confident. Write down 3 specific areas where you hear your own growth. This documented proof is your fuel for the final push. Day 22. The English-only hour. This is your immersion challenge. For 1 continuous hour today, you will function entirely in English. This includes your self-talk, your notes, your internal monologue, and even the music you listen to. You may use your native language only in an emergency. This will be mentally draining but profoundly effective. It forces your brain to bypass the translation crutch and operates solely in its new language system. You are proving to yourself that you can live in English. Day 23. The storyteller's drill. Find a picture that tells a story. Set a timer for 2 minutes and record yourself describing not just what you see, but creating a narrative around it. This man is walking quickly. He is late for an important meeting. He looks worried because he forgot his documents. This practice connects vocabulary to imagination, a key skill for dynamic conversation. You are learning to create with the language, not just repeat it. Day 24. The real-world task. Take your English outside. Call a customer service line for a product you own, or if that's not possible, simulate the call by preparing a list of questions and practicing them aloud. Alternatively, leave a detailed voice message for your language partner. The goal is to use English to accomplish a concrete task. This contextualizes your learning and builds a different kind of confidence. Day 25. Accent agility. In your listening practice, deliberately seek out 2 different English accents, for example, British and Australian. Listen to a short clip of each. Shadow both. Notice the differences in melody and vowel sounds. The goal is not to master the accents, but to train your ear to be flexible and adaptable. The real world speaks English in 1,000 different ways, and your comprehension must be agile. Day 26. The future self conversation. Have a final, longer conversation with your partner, 10 minutes. The topic: My life in 1 year. Discuss your future goals and dreams in English. This does 2 things. It practices the language of ambition and future tenses, and it psychologically associates your English-speaking self with your future, successful self. You are embedding the language into your vision of your own future. Day 27. The pressure cooker. Simulate a high-pressure situation. Record a 1-minute voice message explaining a complex idea from your job or hobby to someone who knows nothing about it. Do not allow yourself to start over. You must complete it in one take. This forces clarity of thought, simplicity of language, and grace under pressure, the hallmarks of true fluency. Day 28. The silent review. Do not speak today. Return to the very first audio you listened to on day 1. Listen to it. Now, listen to the native speaker loop from day 19. Hear the dramatic difference in your comprehension. What was once a blur of sound is now decipherable. This auditory proof of your progress is more powerful than any test score. Day 29. The Fluency Blueprint. Write your own plan for the next 90 days. Based on what worked best for you, design your sustainable practice routine. Will you have 2 conversations per week? 20 minutes of listening daily? This is you taking ownership of your continued journey. You are the architect of your fluency now. Day 30. The Declaration. Record your final 1-minute monologue. The topic: Why I am a fluent English speaker. Listen to it. Then, listen to your recording from day 1. The difference is not just in your accent or grammar, it is in the confidence, the flow, the very sound of your voice. You did not just learn English, you integrated it. You have become a fluent speaker. The journey continues, but the struggle is over.